Third down and 20.
Let's move on into the other side of the spectrum, the guys more towards the bottom of the barrel, and let's rank the head coaching signings thus far. Let's rank them. So for those who don't know or just haven't been following, the Falcons, Jaguars, Jets, Lions, and Chargers have all found head coaches. 5 out of the 7 teams that need a head coach have been found. And let's just go like 1-1, 2-2 from there. So who do you think is the best head coaching signing thus far, in your opinion, Mr. Steed?
I think it's got to be Saleh going to the Jets. Adam Gase, I think everybody can easily say that Adam Gase is just really didn't get it done. But like Saleh, just like from what we've seen from him in San Francisco, like building that insane defense, looks like a team guy and like a guy that like can bring like some hope. He was a big like hire, like a lot of teams wanted him. So it's a big hire for him. And I just think he brings like a little hope and confidence to the Jets fan base saying, like, listen, we're going to go all in with one guy. I think at the end of the day, it'd be Saleh. So I would have Saleh at one.
I like that. I'll get into him a little bit with my thoughts on him, but my number one is going to be a little bit of a cop out. It's going to be Urban Meyer with the Jags. And at first, I wasn't huge into Urban Meyer. I was thinking, they're just kind of chasing the hype. I'm not sure if this is going to be the guy, but going around and seeing the staff that he's putting together around him, I am really excited about. He was able to get someone from Ohio State, one of the higher ups, to be like around director of player personnel or some role like that. I'm pretty sure he picked up Raheem Morris from the Falcons to play a role in that defense. He is pulling together a whole lot of moves that I am starting to really fall in love with. Because originally I was thinking, I'm not sure Urban Meyer is just going to be able to carry the Jaguars, but with the squad that he's putting together, the amount of draft capital and cap space that they have, I'm actually really excited for the direction that the Jaguars are heading, and really think that Urban Meyer is going to be able to kind of turn this ship around for the Jaguars, kind of like how Harbaugh was able to do for the 49ers. I don't know if Urban Meyer is going to have that long-term success, but I do think that within these first couple of years that the Jaguars are going to be not a great team, but definitely more competitive than they have been in the past couple of seasons. And even when they made the AFC Championship, be more of a well-rounded team than just a team that's carried by one side of the ball. So I'm going to put Urban Meyer and the Jags at number one.
All right, my number two, I'm going to go with my homeboys. I really like the Arthur Smith hire for the Falcons. The more I like read into and look into it, after the Dan Quinn era, like it was, and Mike Smith, honestly, we haven't really had an offensive mind head coach for a while. And you get kind of an under the radar Arthur Smith kind of guy, like where not a lot of teams, it's not a flashy pick, maybe not a big headline like name, but you've seen what he's done in Tennessee. It's truly remarkable. Like making where it's Ryan Tannehill is a top 10 quarterback in the league and playing at a top 5 level, honestly. And their red zone numbers are off the charts where they score, and their offense is just this top 5 offense. And for the past ever since Shanahan left, it's like the Falcons' fault. Besides, like the defense giving up 40 points some games, is that the red zone numbers are not good, and they don't score in the red zone, and they have trouble running in the red zone. And I think if you get a guy here who is able to make Tannehill relevant again, maybe he can figure out a way for where Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, even though they're getting older in age, if his scheme and he can get it around, he can make them relevant once again. And I think that's why I love that hire too, because I'm not ready just to get rid of those two guys just yet. I still think there's football with them.
I completely love the point that you brought up with that red zone running, because that was the thing that separated the Falcons when they made the Super Bowl compared to years later, is that Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman were just monsters. I mean, all over the field, but especially in the red zone, because, okay, if you want to go and bracket Julio and all that jazz, and don't want to stack the box. We're going to run it on you. And if you want to stack the box and create space for the other guys, there was a whole lot of space for their playmakers, guys like Julio Jones and all them, to score in the red zone. And once Shanahan left and pieces started to fall apart a little bit, you saw Julio's red zone numbers went down, the running game's red zone numbers were all down. And then on the other side of the ball, they started struggling to stop teams in the red zone and were giving up a lot of free touchdowns. So you're right. So for me, I'm actually going to kind of group my number 2 and number 3 into just kind of like a number 2. And
Mhm.
that's, like you said, Arthur Smith with the Falcons and Brandon Staley with the Chargers, because I think that this is a hire for both teams that are directly solving major issues that they've had the past couple seasons. We kind of mentioned the whole lack of a running attack in general, and quarterback play starting to fall off, and that's kind of how the Falcons addressed it with Arthur Smith. But let's go to the Chargers with Brandon Staley. This is a team that has just blown a lot of games that they were leading and playing well, and you get a guy that under Sean McVay was an integral part of the reason why Sean McVay has never lost a game that he is leading at halftime. He has been able to rely on Brandon Staley and that defense. And this year, he has developed a lot of guys with not a whole lot of draft capital to work with, guys, developing players that they had taken in previous years. This is a whole list of things that if you go back and watch the Chargers, what are the problems with the Chargers video that we had? I feel like Brandon Staley really addresses a lot of these issues.
Mhm.
Not developing the back end of your roster, playing stupid and not adjusting to your opponents in the second half. Always having the defensive pieces, but not really able to fully put it together for an entire season. I really feel like Brandon Staley might be able to do all of this and really turn this Chargers team from a pretender into a contender.
Yeah, he was my third on the list too, pretty much for the same reasons. I feel like when the Chargers vacancy came open, it was kind of like I thought they would head more towards an offensive mind, that because Herbert looks like he's the real deal, and maybe just try to get that like connection for years to come. But actually, I think I like this move a lot too, because yeah, like he can figure out the defensive side of the ball and just worry about, I don't have to worry about offense. I'll get like the OC that fits Herbert the best, and he can take it over from there. Let me worry about the defensive side of the ball and game managing, and just because I mean, this is a young guy too, only 38. I think this is a very smart move for the Chargers, and they're looking good moving on.
All right, so my number 4 is Sala with the Jets. Kind of like for a lot of the reasons you said. Adam Gase is a guy that clearly was not able to really grasp and develop the locker room, and he kind of failed at the job that he was hired to do, and that was to develop Sam Darnold into a top tier quarterback. Well, with Robert Sala, with the Jets, you need to build an organization. You need to rebuild a culture. And I mean, I don't have Salah ranked very high just because this is a tough ask for him. And I'm not sure how he is going to be, leading the whole group and also bringing in talent. Because I know for the 49ers, Shanahan and their GM, oh, I can't think of the GM's name, but that tandem was just so good. And Salah had that as a backbone. Now Salah has to create that and more for New York. So I'm a little bit more skeptical, but I am excited that he could be a guy that the troops can really rally behind. And Bill Walsh
Mhm.
always, I read a whole lot of Bill Walsh books, and he says that, to be a football coach, they have to see you in the front. He got that from General George S. Patton, and he said that, the troops have to see you in the front of the army. You have to be the commander, and if you're not in the front, you're never going to have the respect of the guys. And that's what Robert Sala's mantra is. He's the kind of guy, he's in the front of the army, right? He's leading the troops. He's like the first one into battle. And I really like that for this Jets team that really needs an identity. So even though he's at my number 4 spot, kind of because of the whole, how is the him and Joe Douglas going to work? But in terms of getting the atmosphere and his guys to play for him, I am really excited for him. So yeah, I only have him at 4, but I can see why, like, you had him at number 1.
Yeah, one more thing on Solid that's just a pro. I mean, that 49ers defense was hit with injuries all year. And, you know, to make it where like they were competitive and win some games where they probably shouldn't have won and the way that defense did rally around them, I think that's also a pro with him doing a lot with less, So maybe that's a good trend for the Jets that don't have a lot. Uh, at four, this is your one. This is kind of crazy. So your one, my one was your four, and your one's my four. I got Urban Meyer. Now, listen, I think like the Urban Meyer hire, it's a sexy hire. It's a big name hire, right? Like a lot of people are gonna say they like this hire, and I like Urban Meyer too. He's been a great college football coach throughout his career. But so far to this date, that's all he's been. He never played in the NFL. He's never coached in the NFL. And even though that's not like a knock, because it's still, but like the college football scene is different than the NFL scene. And I'm not saying that's a huge knock on him. But one more con I have for him, and the reason why, like, I don't trust the hire, it's not because of his game plan. It's just, his tenure everywhere he goes, it just seems like, he'll just hang it up out of nowhere, said he's done with his career because of his heart problem or health issues. And then he's back, and then he says he's going to hang it up. So, how long does Urban Meyer last for the Jags? For a guy that's about to have Trevor Lawrence, who's going to be a 20-year guy, supposed to be. I mean, how long is Urban going to be there? 5, 3 years, 2? Like, what's his health
No,
situation? So
I
that,
completely agree though with what you're saying. Yeah, my whole thing with Urban Meyer is I think he's going to be able to turn around quickly. I completely agree with you in that. I don't know how long he's going to last. I could easily see him being a Jim Harbaugh where you have that 2 3 years of success. It starts getting a little rocky and then he dips. I could completely see that, and I share that same concern.
yeah, but like for good pros for Urban is that he succeeded wherever he's gone. He's won 2 natties with 2 different college football teams. He seems like he's a locker room kind of guy. And he's always been able to get some of the best recruits. Now, granted, he's played at elite programs, but I for the Jaguars to be in the paper, they're going to be talked about a lot in the offseason. Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer, those are 2 huge names that will be in the media. So if they want like their name getting out there and to be recognized, like, yeah, they did a great job at that. So, I mean, I still like the hire. I mean, great coach, but it's just a little down below because I don't know if I fully believe in them.
Yeah, I was skeptical at first, but it's just the whole the guys he's bringing. I really feel like this is going to be a team, right? That's the sense I'm getting from the Jaguars with Urban Meyer is that it's not going to be just about Urban Meyer. This is a guy that has been able to build programs before, and there are teams still using the legacy that he created in college football to like carry on their success. I just feel like if I can get that, because that is what the Jaguars have lacked. They tried to bring in Tom Coughlin to create that, and it completely backfired. It destroyed the team. All the talent ran away from the
Mhm.
Jaguars. Now I'm finally getting that sense that talent isn't running away. Talent is starting to go to Jacksonville. So that's why I really liked Urban Meyer is that I may like some of the other coaches more than Urban Meyer, but in terms of what the Jaguars need, it's just such a fit. I feel like. But now I guess we both have the same guy at number 5. We have PC principal
Yeah.
Dan Campbell. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen now for you guys watching on YouTube. This is from South Park. PC principal. He looks just like Dan Campbell. It
Oh
is
yeah.
hilarious. It is
PC coach.
absolutely hilarious. PC principal Dan Campbell going to the Lions, the place that no one wants to go. I'll let you start it off, Steve. What are you thinking about PC principal Dan Campbell to the Lions?
Well, I mean, like, think about Dan Campbell is the only thing I knew about him when they hired him that he looked like PC principal. I didn't even know what team he was coaching for, so I just figured out he's the assistant head coach for the Saints. So I mean, that's not great, but I just feel like the Lions, you have never been able to figure out, like, is this your guy? Like, is this the best option? Out of any guy you interviewed, like maybe you don't want to pull the strings like Urban Meyer and those other big names like Saleh because you are the Detroit Lions and you got to play in Detroit. But you're telling me you couldn't get someone a little bit better and interesting than PC Principal over here? I mean, upon like scheme, I know like he was interim head coach for the Dolphins back in like 2011. I think he went like I got him going 5-7 here. So I mean, kind of like where the Lions would be, around that time of the season, hovering around. Or the Lions going to figure it out, then end up going 6-10. So if they're just trying to fit the mold of the Lions, they're consistent. So I don't know anything good things to say about him, honestly. That he's ripped.
Yeah, he's
I want,
ripped. He's going to build a PC culture. You're not going to
yeah.
hear any derogatory word, anything from the Lions anymore. They are going to be the most progressive team in the NFL. Yeah, but on a serious note, like you, I don't really know about him. I didn't know who he was until he was hired by the Lions. He's the assistant head coach, like you said, and tight ends coach. If there's any winner here, it might be TJ Hawkinson. You get a
Yeah.
real tight end guy on the team. He's going to be the forefront of that offense. And he may have to be because if Stafford leaves and Galladay leaves, he might be the only player they have left. So, Dan Campbell, if you can turn this Lions team around, hats off to you because I don't think any coach fits the Lions. I feel like this
Yeah.
team is just I am treating the Lions as I need to see it to believe it. I don't care how promising or grim the Lions are looking. I need to see it to believe it. They're always going to be that 5 to 7 win team until they prove otherwise. Yeah, they'll have a couple 8 win, 9 win seasons here and there, but they're always going to be like the NFC versions of the Texans, but instead of making the playoffs and getting bounced every year, it's like they're always like, here we go, Lions, we can do it this year. And they're hanging around that mediocre range. So,
I
like,
mean,
I
what
just
c- like a good thing about Dan Campbell, it's like a Madden when you choose a coach, strategist, team builder, motivator, or whatever. I mean, he follows under the motivating. If he gets the right hires, I'm pretty sure uh, he's going to get Aaron Glenn to be his defensive coordinator. For people that don't know him, he was the defensive back for the Saints, defensive back coach for the Saints. And Saints secondary is pretty damn good. And for a Lions team that has a shitty secondary, I think that's something to get excited about. Um,
Yeah, that's big because he's a coach that led the best shit talkers in the NFL. That's what the Lions need. The Lions,
yeah, just
they need to
become,
stop playing by the rules. They need to be the bad boys. They need to
yeah,
have like that 85 Bears mentality. Like, listen, we're the Lions. We're from Detroit. We're going to show up and punch you in the mouth because that's who we are. We are the Lions. We're going to
yeah,
shit
dude.
talk all day. That's exactly what the line. Honestly, I'm liking this a lot more. You got PC Principal out there. He's freaking jacked. He'll fight you too. He'll be the first one to punch you in the mouth. So let's go
Yeah, I kind of
Lions.
like that. I kind of like it now. I might have to move him up in my rankings when it's all said